Tonight is a little bit of both. We're helping you prep for the big game, hence the ice maker, because it's not a party if you run out of ice, but this is like the ice baby that you get at those highfalutin restaurants, free of impurities, like a diamond, free of inclusions, on demand. And for the first time in history, not only is this the upgraded and the Cadillac, you are making ice faster than we have ever done before. You choose it in kind of that nice brushed stainless or that black, and you can actually adjust or choose your ice sizes, So 40 gallons of ice. I mean, you want to talk about having ice within 15 minutes? Or 40 pounds of ice. 40 pounds of ice over and over and over and over again with no installation. I mean, no big deal. You put the water in. There's no special drain line or anything. It also has a self-cleaning function, which is also new and upgraded. And that is the best price that we have ever offered. So we're gonna get you all the details, $34 on your credit card. You choose the black or the stainless steel. My friend Rebecca Wood is back, my fellow Minnesotan, my partner in crime. Now, when you come from Minnesota, the ice is what we do the fishing on. But you know, I want ice for my coffee. I want ice for my smoothie. I want ice for maybe my spirits or my cocktails that I'm enjoying on a Friday night. And out of all the ice makers that we offer, Rebecca, first of all, welcome. Always a pleasure to have you in the house. But this is our best. This has all the features that, for the best price we've ever offered, doesn't it?
It is. It's the Cadillac when it comes to ice makers. I love this baby. You look at this and you're like, what? Yes. But can I just thickness of my ice? Yes. Is it going to be great tasting ice every single time? Why is because it's crystal clear ice. You never realize that's important. It's not because it's absolutely beautiful glass of water or mixed drink, but it's because it tastes so good. The reason it's clear is because there are less impurities. It's flash frozen inside of this unit instead of being frozen in your freezer next to maybe your peas or next to the leftovers. That's going to transfer all of those flavors into your ice. Here, all you're going to taste is whatever you are drinking. You're going to love this. So let me walk it through, because a lot of people will look at this and think, oh, I'm going to have to clean a filter. There's going to be a lot of setup. There's no setup whatsoever. When it comes home to you, you're going to take it out of the box. You're going to plug it in. That's it. Then you're going to take about a gallon of water and fill the top here just like that. Holds a gallon. Why is that important? You can go back and enjoy your tailgating, enjoy your party, enjoy your get-together, and you don't have to babysit it. Then you just simply turn on. This microcomputer does all of it for you. You're gonna see little numbers on the side with a plus and a minus. The plus means you can go all the way up to 6 if you want really thick ice, like if you're gonna use this maybe in a buffet, or you're going to sit some cognac or a special spirit and you want it to melt slowly. Or press the minus all the way down to the 1 if you want maybe some really thin ice. I know a lot of ice chewers out there. This is the perfect ice chewing ice because you can make it really thin if you like. Then after you do that, 15 minutes later, you're going to get your full tray of ice, and it is going to continue to churn out tray after tray after tray. Look at this beautiful ice until it makes 40 pounds of ice in 24 hours. So if you do have a big get together, a camping trip, a fishing trip, a tailgating, start making it, pour it into your cooler, and then it will make 40 pounds of ice in 24 hours. Now, when you think of something like that, you're like, but how fast does my refrigerator make ice? Or if you're still using these, and if you've got a condo, a boat, an RV, you probably still are. This takes 6 hours. I think this is 18 or 14 ice cubes. 14 ice cubes, 6 hours. Your refrigerator ice maker, if you're still continuing to use that after it's probably broken on you 2 or 3 times like mine has, that's going to take you 3.5 hours. So think 6, 3.5, 15 minutes. It really is a no-brainer, and it's so beautiful. You can just leave it right there out on your counter every single day. Don't think of this just for the parties. Think about it when you're making your iced coffee. That's my favorite. I like to grab my iced coffee in the morning, and the moment I turn my on, and then the moment that I turn my ice maker on, they're usually ready at the same time. And look at this, Shannon. You pour in that ice. Yeah, add a little cream because we're from Minnesota. Things better with cream, right? And that It's delicious. You're not tasting your leftovers last night, right? You're just delicious coffee.
Absolutely. When I said, do you have ice envy? Just like a diamond, you don't want inclusions. You don't want it to smell like onions or taste like onions or frozen peas or anything like that. The convenience and the aesthetic, but there's practical to the purpose as well. I know Rebecca was just talking about this, but if it is maybe that expensive, whiskey or bourbon or, that special cocktail, you want that slow dispersion of the ice so it doesn't water down that drink. It looks prettier and frankly it tastes better. So if you want that crystal clean, free of inclusions or impurities taste, whether it is in your iced coffee or whether it is in your smoothie, even before we had the Cadillac model, Rebecca and I used to talk about how you would swear on your Andrew Lessman protein shakes if you add ice, the ice from this and this, especially if you change the size, because you can adjust that to your own personal needs and taste. It actually makes it look and feel like there's dairy in it because it thickens everything up without, of course, including dairy, which I think is genius. The self-cleaning mechanism, I think, is fantastic. It's a nice little addition. But remember, you don't need a plumber. You don't need to put a line in your home. Rebecca, describe what we're looking at right now, because I think this is a great shot to illustrate how high-tech this is.
I love it. So what happens is that is the actual tray, and the water continuously runs over that tray until it flash freezes. So there's less impurities trapped inside. In fact, no impurities really, because it's made in this self-contained unit. Now, once it's completely frozen, it will drop out of that tray. So you're actually getting trays of ice, and that's how it works. But the really great thing is once you break that ice up, each individual ice, which is crystal clear, has a little indentation. And we did that because we wanted to give you more surface of the ice, which means it's going to cool down your drink faster, but it's going to melt more slowly. And they're small enough even to fit in the tiniest of openings. So those water bottles that you want to take with you to work or for working out, you don't have to try to jam those moon-shaped ice cubes from your refrigerator in and hurting your palm of your hand. It's going to pop right in there. Really super.
I think it's genius.
Yeah, I was going to show the creamy ice that you were talking about.
Please.
I was so happy that, you could tell you're a little healthier than I am because you were saying, oh, you know what? I got to get this on here and then we're going to show you that creamy ice. All I have in here right now is I've got some frozen fruit, some ice, and I use grapefruit juice. That's one of my things that I've started doing this year because it means that I have less calories. And we all want less calories, right? So we don't want sometimes maybe the added yogurt or the dairy if you really are counting those calories. Now look at this. You're going to swear. Look, I have to scoop that in there.
Oh, wow.
You're going to swear that has dairy or some kind of yogurt or cream in it. It tastes so good. That's because of that little indentation, Shannon. That whips the air in there, which makes it absolutely delicious every single time. Look at that.
It does. I know one of the things that Guy Yovan, another resident foodie here at HSN, that he talks about is this is the technology that they use in restaurants and professional establishments. And it means, listen, we're prepping you for the big game. That's why that Samsung TV has already been a hit. But the party does not happen. The party does not continue. If somebody's got to get in their car and convenience store and get ice. And Rebecca, this is something that we haven't talked about, at least at length, is I know Callie and Alice, they have this on her boat, but let's talk about hurricane preparedness as well. And I don't know about you, so you know me and my fancy ice. So here's my story about me and my fancy ice. So my fancy ice is out of stock at the grocery store, Publix, that's a grocery store here. 3 different Publix I drove to. All 3 of them were out of my fancy ice. It's the one that's, glacier, and it's exactly what this does, by the way. So no impurities, none of the shenanigans. This is that designer, that crystal clear, that fancy schmancy, that rock ice that when the mixologist makes that really expensive cocktail, but also for hurricane preparedness, for ice, for safety, on demand. It has its great purpose and practical purpose as well, doesn't it?
I'm so happy because I can attest myself, my own personal story. I'm from Minnesota, as we both were talking about. I was not prepared for my first hurricane.
Yeah,
I had no
true.
idea. Ice sold out immediately, and you can't find it anywhere. Why is ice important? You got a lot of food in the refrigerator. You've got a lot of reasons that you're going to need to cool down. It was so hot, we had no electricity for 5 days. I didn't have ice, but guess what I had? An ice maker that literally, if you plug it in anywhere, you're going to get the best tasting ice. So My car had an adapter in the back, so I just had to plug it in. Look at it, it's just falling out because it's making so much ice. And my favorite part of that story is I was making ice for everybody because it uses any water. So just use the water from the tap. And they were giving me bottles of wine in return. It was a perfect trade, Shannon.
I mean, it really was. And Rebecca, just in terms of practicality, I know you already showed this, but well, actually, oh, we got them both plugged in. But if you could turn it, so basically it's a plug, right? You plug it in, you dump the water in. So again, you don't need a plumbing line, you don't need a line in. And so it's just, it couldn't be any easier, right?
Nope, you're gonna take it out of the box, you're gonna plug it in. That's all you have to do. The water goes right here at the top. There's a full line. It's gonna hold about a gallon of water, which is really great because it's gonna make a lot of ice before you even have to think about refilling it. And then you turn it on and you decide which thickness you want. 1 for the very thin ice, 6 all the way up to the very, very thick ice. And then when you're done, there's no maintenance, no filters that need to be cleaned. In fact, it's self-cleaning. You hit the clean button, it will clean itself. You don't have to do a thing, but you can drain the water in the back here. So if you're tailgating, camping, if you take this to the boat, I mean, literally it can go over a sink, it could go on the ground, it could go anywhere. You open that up and the water runs out. Super, super simple. The fact that it's self-cleaning too, I just can't say enough about that. And the fact that it's this big, it's going to be about 13, I think it's 16 by 9 by 13 and a half.
Oh, let me double check here. Okay, you are good. Okay, 16 by 11, like 11 inches by 13 and a half by 19. Yeah, there you go.
So what's about that is you keep this out. You're not going to put this away. This is something you're going to keep on your counter. And when you're having your iced coffee in the morning, your smoothies in the morning, just want to drink more water. That was a big one last year that I was able to tackle for my New Year's resolutions because I have great tasting water. I always thought, oh, I hate water. No, I don't hate water. I hated water that tasted like the peas from my refrigerator. I hated that freeze-dried taste, the funky ice. My daughter will never touch. We have not touched that ice in so long because she says it tastes weird. And she's not an ice snob. She just realizes good ice when you have good ice, and that's what this is going to do. That's why it's crystal clear. I don't know if you can see this, but you can hardly even see the ice because it's that crystal clear. Isn't it pretty?
Yeah, I mean, it really is. Rebecca, I got to tell you, it's so funny because we presented different variations of the ice maker in the past. This is finally the one that convinced, this is the one that finally has my name on it because, again, just I know we're wrapping up, but we have never done these upgrades for this price, right? Is that fair to say?
Yep, never.
Never.
The first time.
Well, awesome job as always. Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers Friday, right?
Absolutely. Friday indeed. Thank you, Rebecca. Always good to have you here. Thank you, my friend. Okay, do not hang up. Remember, 5 flexible payments on everything. Whether it's something that you see in my show or whether, oh yeah, actually, you know what? So 5 flexible payments on everything. Go to hsn.com. You'll probably get inspired and find some things you weren't intending. And then we're to do a little timeout. I've got what they call a 5 and 5. So those are all sellout quantities. So that's going to be coming up in just a moment. And then the big deal, the big game, the big envy. Go big or go home. I'm just telling you, if you're in the mood for anything, I don't care if it's football season,